Can you hear me now? Drop them nines if you can hear me, man. Drop them nines if you can hear me. Drop them nines if you can hear me. Say put a quarter in if we can't hear. You funny, man. Michelle Mitchell, welcome to the live, man. Terrence Algert, welcome to the live. Joanne Sims, welcome to the live. Y'all coming in fast today, man. Okay, man, y'all please like it up and share it, man, as you come in, man. So other people will know that we live, man. You know they trying their hardest to shadow ban me over here for whatever reason, man. And it's all due to the fact that I put out a video concerning the panda ads, okay? The panda ad videos, and not only that, it was another video that I put out dealing with Sears, okay? It was a preparation that Bill Gates and the other selected few members actually, I guess, got together to prepare for, okay, an up-and-coming new demic that's supposed to take place no later than 2025, okay? So with that being said, they had their independent fact checkers come along, and I want to say check the facts, right? But we all know they checked them from a biased standpoint because that's information that they don't want to get out. And so they want to say that, you know, he never said those things when in fact we know he did say those things, okay? We know he said them. So I want to say peace, family, peace meaning positive energy always creates elevation, man. We got a good live for y'all, but I'm going to ask you to go ahead, like it up and share it first. Please like it up and share it, man, because as I said, they're trying to shadow ban me, y'all, okay? So I'm going to need y'all support when it comes to ensuring that the information that I'm putting out is being pushed, okay? So if you can aid and abet me with that, man, I'm asking you to share it, okay? It was a job to be done. It was a job to be done. Somebody had to do the job. Anybody could have did the job. Nobody did the job, so everybody suffered the consequences. But with that being said, guess what? This is going to most definitely be a good live, y'all. This is going to be a good live, man. Today we're going to be exposing Clone-Aid, man, and how, you know, the clones that they actually are making, and they've been making these clones for quite some time now. I want to say since the 1980s. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Clone-Aid, okay, then let me update you a little bit, man. This is actually a cloning center, right, that has been around for quite some time now. When the first person to actually invest their time in Clone-Aid was Michael Jackson, okay? So with that being said, it's a possibility that Clone-Aid, could have cloned Michael Jackson, okay? And I feel like it's important for us to know, man, that it's a possibility that half of the people that we seeing right now could possibly be clones, okay? And when I say half of the people that we seeing, I'm just not talking about your average celebrity, okay? I'm talking about the people that we see on an everyday basis that walk amongst us. Half of the food that we eat could possibly be cloned, okay? As you're going to see throughout this video, okay? So for those of you who might come along and want to dispute this, man, it's a possibility. Well, this video is going to show a lot and how far cloning has actually went back, okay? But I will say this, man, it's a possibility that the food could be cloned as well. They're going to show you the first sheep to ever be cloned in this video. They're going to show you how President Bill Clinton actually came along and wanted to prohibit anybody from the use of cloning, even though he said he knew that he could not stop other people who was going to be funding this on their own with their own money from actually putting the money in to actually clone. But I'm going to let y'all know something, man. This video was deep, man, and it's going to be exposing a lot when it comes to cloning, okay? So I'm asking you, if you here, man, please like it up and share it, man. Please, please, please like this up and share it. As I said, they're trying to stop me from reaching other people. And the more you like it, the more you share it, the more it's going to reach other people. All right? So let's see what we got, man. We got 12 shares on Facebook, man. Please share it up. Please share it up. I got 80 people in here, man, on Facebook at I Am Awakened. Over 80. Can we get some shares? So with that being said, man, let's go ahead and jump into this video, y'all. Let's jump into this video. Oh, man, hold on, y'all. I'm having another issue. Give me a second. Give me a quick second. I'm going to get this issue resolved. Okay, let's see.
All history, a garden of pure.
I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Give me a second, y'all. I don't know what's going on today, but this video most definitely, I'm having a big issue today. Let me see. Let me see.
Ideology.
For that reason.
Where each one.
No. Okay. I want y'all to drop them nines if y'all can still hear me. Drop them nines if y'all can still hear me. Thanks for sharing, David. Drop the nines if you can still hear me. Okay, we got that. We got that taken care of. Okay, good. Thanks, Nyla Van. Say she getting the notifications over on YouTube, man. Y'all please go over to YouTube and follow me on YouTube at I Am Awakened if you ain't started to follow me over there already. Thanks for the nines, man. Y'all like it up and share it. This is gonna be a good live though, man. Now that we got the audio back in, we're gonna jump into it. Like I said in the beginning, man, this video is gonna get ready to expose so much when it comes to how long this has actually been taking place. So let's jump into it.
In all history, a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests of being contradictory.
Now, this first clip that you're seeing is actually a video from an ad that Apple put out in 1984. So the first clip that you're actually looking at is an ad from a clip from an ad that Apple put out in 1984.
Unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh.
Shay Baines, thanks for the $5 contribute. Thank you.
And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
When I first came across you guys, I know it was like 4 of y'all.
Oh, what year that was?
You said the what?
Was it 4? It was 4 in total.
4 in total?
I mean, as a group, it was not 4, but was it 5? It was a group. You guys were a whole group, and it wasn't just 2. Now it's 2.
Look at how they stuck, y'all. Y'all see how they stuck? To be honest, I don't even know who this group is, to be honest. If you know who this group is, man, leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know who these 2 is, because she's saying that it's obviously it was 4 of these people, but I'm showing you this clip to basically show you how, you know, how they fall. Look how they stuck. And this is a instance of them breaking down, okay? Malfunctioning.
What did she say?
I couldn't hear.
What you say?
What you said?
Good morning. Would it be possible to clone? Our administration believes that there are loopholes that could allow the cloning of human beings if the technology were developed. Therefore, today I am issuing a directive that bans the use of any federal funds for any cloning of human beings.
Janelle Rodriguez says she don't know the group of 4, but I know them. Who are they, Janelle? If you don't mind dropping that in the comment section.
Effective immediately, no federal agency may support, fund, or undertake such activity. Of course, a great deal of research and activity in this area is supported by private funds. That is why I am urging the entire scientific and medical community, every foundation, every university, every industry that supports work in this area to heed the federal government's example. I'm asking for a voluntary moratorium on the cloning of human beings until our Bioethics Advisory Commission and our entire...
Did y'all hear what he said? He's trying to in place laws. I want to say that he's putting in laws that will stop people from cloning human beings, okay? Correct me if I'm wrong. Look what he just said. Let's go back just a little bit.
Agency may support, fund, or undertake such activity. Of course, a great deal of research and activity in this area is supported by private funds. That is why I am urging the entire scientific and medical community, every foundation, every university, every industry that supports work in this area, to heed the federal government's example. I'm asking for a voluntary moratorium on the cloning of human beings until our Bioethics Advisory Commission and our entire nation have had a real chance to understand and debate the profound ethical implications of the latest advances.
See, he didn't want them to begin this cloning process until, society had a chance to actually know what was going on. You see what I'm saying? He wanted them to wait until they could introduce this to society, because I really do feel like the real him, because it's a possibility that he could have been cloned, okay? So the real him did not, want to, he felt like it was I think he felt like it was unethical, okay? So.
As we gain a fuller understanding of this technology, we must proceed not just with caution, but also with a conscience, by insisting that not a single taxpayer dollar supports human cloning, and by urging a moratorium on all private research in this area. We can ensure that as we move forward on this issue, we weigh the concerns of faith and family and philosophy and values, not merely of science alone. Thank you very much.
So for me, that says a lot, man. We have a president that actually spoke on the fact that cloning was in the process of being done way back in the 1900s, okay? I wouldn't say the 1900s, but you know what I mean? What it was at the 1900s, okay? That was the early 1900s, okay? We had a president speak on this, so this just lets you know how long this has been in the process.
Humans made to order, mothers giving birth to themselves, babies conceived just so their body parts can be transplanted. Come with me into the scary new world of cloning. The nightmarish stuff of science fiction has suddenly become a reality. The genie is out of the bottle, said scientists in Scotland earlier this year when they successfully cloned a sheep. And they weren't kidding. Using those same techniques, it's now possible to clone humans. What's more, there are doctors ready and able to do it. In the world we've all known, it's meant to happen something like this. Boy meets girl, they fall in love, and through that relationship they conceive a baby. But now there's a potential new way to create life, and it has many of us terrified.
So what I want y'all to understand is, she said, they're telling you that cloning could be done through the cloning of a sheep. They actually cloned the sheep. So that brings into question the fact that it was a possibility that, it's a possibility that half the food that we eat nowadays could actually not be real. We see how we go into these stores, man, and a lot of the chicken, right, is overly big. It's not the same size that it would have been back in the day. Now, we know that they're actually, putting steroids in the food, so on and so forth. But the fact that a lot of this chicken is looking deformed says a lot to me. It says that, with the information that we know now, that there has been a sheep that actually was cloned, then it's a possibility that, the food that we're eating is not real. Because in the process of cloning, it doesn't mean that the life is not real. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that whatever is being cloned does not have life in it. It's just, I would say, lack of soul.
It's called human cloning.
It will happen. And it will not be done for the best reasons. It will be done for all kinds of bizarre reasons, but be in no doubt that it will be done.
I see it as just one more tool in the whole array of tools that we now have to help people have children. I think that's a very, very important reason that cloning should be allowed.
The battle has been joined even as the first cloned baby remains a glimmer in the eye of scientists. After all, what we're talking about doing is making exact replicas of ourselves. Strictly speaking, it would be legal to clone me, for example, tomorrow. And this is the place it's most likely to happen, a leading IVF clinic outside of New York. Behind those walls, there are people with the technology, the ability and the desire to genetically engineer human embryos, to be the first in the world to successfully clone a human being.
There's no doubt that human beings will be cloned.
Dr. Jacques Cohen.
Wow, that's something new to me. Terrell Payton say the FDA already allows clone meat in restaurants and grocery stores and to not be labeled. Okay, not be labeled. Wow, that's crazy.
A leader in his field, simply needs the approval of his clinic's ethics committee to make history. So if I had the money, you had the permission, you could clone me tomorrow.
Well, I wouldn't say tomorrow. It will take a year or two. We could clone you probably within 2 years.
What you're seeing here is an actual cloning taking place at the research facility in Scotland that pioneered the technique. In theory, it's blindingly simple.
And this clip that you're watching right now is actually from 60 Minutes, as you can see in the left part of the bottom of the screen, right? So we know that this ain't false information. This is actual information that's being given. She's saying that what you're seeing right now is the actual cloning process taking place. So we know without a shadow of a doubt now that the theory of cloning is not fake. It's an actual theory. I mean, it's an actual thing that's being done.
Here, it's an animal, but just as easily, you can take a cell from a human. A scraping of skin will do. Then get an egg from a female, remove the nucleus and fuse the two with a spark of electricity. And ta-da, you have an embryo. Implant the embryo in a woman, and 9 months later, you have a carbon copy of the person from whom the skin scraping was taken. The possibility of cloning has been around for decades. Then, in February of this year, came the living proof it could be done. A lamb called Dolly was cloned in Scotland from the breast tissue of an adult sheep. Well, this is Dolly.
So now look, y'all, this is the sheep this is the actual sheep that they said proved that cloning could be done. We know that when they do these testings, they like to test them on animals first before they go over to human life. Because, we know certain group of people, have certain genetics that deal with, with animals and things like that. But yeah, this was the proof. This was the first sheep. And this is why I say, half of the food that we eat, this is a cloned sheep. They could have very well cut her up and put her in the grocery store right now. Just like I think it was Tyrell just said. You hear me? This is the first sheep right here. He said they already got meat in the stores.
A sheep, but one sheep which has managed to change our understanding of how life begins forever. Little Dolly and many other species of animals cloned since, including monkeys, are powerful evidence that we humans can replicate ourselves. It's a bit like taking a cutting from a plant in the garden.
And we can show you a photograph album of exactly what your child will look like on the 2nd birthday, 4th, 8th, 10th, 32nd birthday, come to that. We can show you they'll have a receding hairline at the age of 34, they'll be completely bald at 45, but a musical genius into the bargain. That's great. And there are people who will be prepared to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for that kind of pedigree result, guarantee, especially if they can't have children of their own.
It's all about money for them. But did you hear what he said? Through this process, they can tell you what age the child is going to ball at, what he'll look like when he reaches a certain age, and also if he's going to be successful in life based on what they've done. You see what I'm saying? This is crazy, bro.
Is not illegal in most states in America, and the Raelian movement has both the money and the scientific expertise.
Some people have been saying this is against the dignity of human being. And I'm saying I'm just doing a baby. And
Professor Brigitte Bosselier is a biochemist and a follower of Rael. She runs a private company called Clonaid, where her scientist, she says, will be the first to clone a human.
Is Brigitte Boisselier, who is scientific director for a private company called Clonaid. Thank you for joining us.
thank you for the invitation.
Sure. Tell us first what Clonaid is and what the company is working on right now.
Okay, so Clonaid is a private company. We founded that 4 years ago, got the fundings to really have a lab last August. And so now we have 3 scientists working almost full-time in a lab here in the United States with the major goal for us to produce a human embryo by human cloning.
Why do you want to do it?
There are several reasons. The first one is that why am I doing it myself is just because I think I had to do it. 4 years ago when I heard all the establishment saying this is so bad and all these things, I said I have to do it and show that this is only a baby. We're dealing with human reproduction and we are preparing embryos in a laboratory that is included in the clinic and this is located in a place where it's perfectly legal to do it. So that's the background. We do have 6 scientists working full-time. We have experts who are associated to us but are not linked to us by any financial thing. They are just experts who are...
So you hear what she says? She says they're going to clone the first human, but in fact, they've already done it. And this is something that's going to be said out of her mouth because as she said, she's already validated the fact that Clonaid is her company. If it's not a company that she owns, then it's a company that she works for, okay? So she's going to go on in this video to furthermore say that they've already cloned the person, all right? So this is already being done. So let's just take out of the equation the fact that this is a conspiracy. It no longer becomes a conspiracy when you have, someone who either works for the facility or owns it saying that they're going to be the first ones to actually clone somebody. So,
looking at what we're doing in the sense that they will be our witnesses when we just publish and when we open that to the public. So we have very healthy blastocyst and we hope to present the baby.
What it is, being the indigo child, it's a fact. Everything that you're watching right now is a fact, okay? This lady works for Clonaid. If you don't believe it, do the research. Research Clonaid. Nothing is speculation that I'm giving you in this video. Everything in this video is factual. All you have to do is go and do your research. Clonaid is a company that really exists. Did you not hear this lady just say that she works for Clonaid and they're going to be the ones to create the first human? Okay, well, look it up. Look it up. You saying that you have, bro, when in all actuality, I don't believe you have because there's several people on here who actually looked into Clonaid and can find information about this.
The problem of overpopulation and it's a dedication for 20 years, which is too long because I want to do so much for others. If I dedicate myself to one kid, I won't be able to help all the one that needs help right now. And then Mom, my mother, she's a Dr. Boisselier, and she was...
Hey, and you know what? The indigo child, Taj, I'm going to tell you why. She's going to tell you why they have it in this video. She's going to tell you why they have not shown it.
On it for a while. And then I grew up, and it was time for me where my body starts feeling I want a kid. And I thought that having a kid, like, if it's for science, if it's for the whole humanity, and if it's for a couple who are infertile and want a kid, and then I could have that kid, I could have the experience of being pregnant, which I really want to go through, and I won't have to keep the kid.
Basically, one day I heard of...
Now, what did I tell y'all about the Elohim that they spoke of, that they talk about in the Bible? See, I keep telling y'all, bro, when we read the Bible, we need to read it from a perspective in which they're talking about these beings that actually, came and visited this planet that originally started life on the planet. And so what he's actually finna get into is he's finna get into the Anunnaki God and the original creation story that you get if you do your study and your research from the Enuma Elish. Okay? So when we talk about Adam and Eve being created, this was something that took place in the garden, okay? Which the garden consisted of the Anunnaki God when they created Adam and Eve from Inky and Enlil's sisters carrying her in their womb for 10 months, okay? So watch what he's talking about. It's a lot of people that don't believe it. If you don't believe it, then this must not be the lab for you, Reflection.
They are the creators of life on Earth. They came on the Earth with very advanced civilization long time ago. They came on the Earth, built big laboratories, and inside these laboratories, using DNA and genetic engineering.
See, you have to understand, bro, that this is something that's been taking place for a while. It was other beings that inhabited this planet that already had this technology. They already knew how to genetically modify organs and things like that in order to produce other species.
Did create all life on Earth.
I'm very pleased to announce that the first baby clone is born. She was born yesterday at 11:55.
Hold on, listen to what she just said. And you know what? It brings the question, man, when we talk about these celebrities, or not even celebrities, right? When we talk about just people in general who go out and have surrogate mothers, could that be a situation where they're being cloned? Because as we it's been a lot of hype that's been going on lately about Blue Ivory and how Blue Ivory is not Jay-Z's father and things like this, but we all see that Blue Ivory looks exactly like Jay-Z. So I want to know, is it a possibility that she could have been cloned through the a surrogate mother?
The Elohim, whose name is in the Bible, and they are the creators of life on Earth. They came on the Earth with very advanced civilization long time ago. They came on the Earth, built big laboratories, and inside these laboratories, using DNA and genetic engineering, they did create all life on Earth.
And so what did I tell you? The Elohim is actually mentioned in the Bible. We spoke on the Elohim. We know the Elohim does not mean God. It's a plural word in Hebrew language that means gods, G-O-D-S. So he's talking about the gods when they came down here and they socially engineered the original being that was on the planet.
I'm very pleased to announce that the first...
Now listen to what she's saying. She said you're going to be... She's very pleased...
And genetic engineering, they did create all life on Earth.
I'm very pleased to announce that the first baby clone is born. She was born yesterday at 11:55 a.m. in the country where she was born. So this will not give you more details about the location. She's fine. We call her Eve between us. You knew that, of course. Some suggested it, and I thought it was a good idea, actually. You won't have the right name.
So here right now, the lady who owns in a press conference. This is a press conference that takes place, and this is what I'm gonna tell y'all. This is what kills me when we talk about certain individuals, man. And I just say that, man, because we understand that certain people aren't meant to become awakened to the fact of what's going on, bro. They want to live. They still want to live in a matrix because to be honest, that's what they're accustomed to. Because we have someone right here that's doing a press conference early in the 1980s, right? Or the 1990s, or whatever, whenever this took place, right? And she's telling you that a clone was the first clone was already born, okay? In the country that she is. She don't want to disclose the country, right? Because for whatever reason, she don't want to disclose the country. But she's validating the fact that the first clone was already created. She don't want to disclose the parents. Listen.
And, for a long time, I thought that this press conference will be with the baby, the parents, the scientists, everybody surrounding me, and having pleasure announcing it. I'm alone. And there is a reason to that, is that it hasn't been easy to face the world with this announcement. And we have been discussing with the parents the last 3 months how we would handle today. And they decided not to show up yet.
You have to understand, bro, the way that society would have basically treated them if they would have announced themselves, knowing that these are not actual humans, but they're clones, okay? Why do you think that they didn't want to show them? Let's use our God mans, man.
They will. I hope they will.
From a spiritual standpoint, it makes me very, very nervous.
Is it true? Did scientists really create a human clone? Good evening and thanks for joining us.
Now, listen. This is a news clip. Did you hear what she just said? Is it true? Did scientists really create a human clone? If you don't believe me, believe the news, okay?
Tonight, Kevin and Jeanette have tonight off. A Florida scientist who believes aliens created life on Earth says she made the world's first human clone. The baby girl called Eve was born yesterday in Hollywood, Florida. But so far, the scientists at CloneAid have refused to identify the parents or provide a picture of the...
Now, who did they say? So they validated the fact that she works for CloneAid. I keep telling y'all, bro, we have to stop, you feel me? Stop looking at everything from a conspiracy standpoint. The news is validating. And who is this? Who is this on this news? Okay? Who is this on the news? This is KCCI, okay? News, Channel 8. So she validated the fact that this was it. Yeah, I said believe the news because they program you to, you sound like someone who will believe the news, the Indigo Child.
Baby. Scientists say the child is a clone of her mother, a 30-year-old American woman. Scientists say the parents are proud of their genetic creation.
The parents are happy, and I hope that you remember them when you talk about this baby, not like a monster.
Hold on.
The doctor is a member of a group.
Hold on. We got somebody in here who say they watched it. They lived in Florida, and they seen this already. Let me see if I can find her comment. She said she watched this. She lived in Florida. Robin Langdo says she watched this. She lived in Florida.
Called Raelians. They believe the Earth was created by extraterrestrials and that cloning leads to eternal life. The cloning claim has triggered a lot of talk even right here at home. News Channel 8's Michelle Parker talked with Iowans for tonight's top story. So what are people out there saying, Michelle?
Well, many say it's very hard to believe and others say it's just not right.
Controversial group.
Researcher Robert Bienkowski reads the latest about a group's claim of a cloned baby and voices doubt.
We don't know about their credentials. We don't know where they did it.
The sample is done.
CloneAid says the story is true, but Bienkowski says cloning animals still isn't fully understood.
It's very difficult to clone mice, even more difficult to clone cows. The animals that have been born oftentimes manifest developmental abnormalities.
News of the supposed newborn clone leaves many Iowans uneasy.
It should be just left natural. I don't think that scientists should be interfering with this sort of thing.
I think we've overstepped our bounds as human beings.
I think cloning goes a little over the edge.
Not everyone is a...
So now what are they doing? They're giving you a description of how people, or they're giving you a view of how people would actually view these children if they were in society. People know that this goes against the natural order that God set in place. For it goes against nature. You see what I'm saying?
Against it.
I think it's pretty cool. Technology's cool. I'd like to see more of it, I guess.
Bienkowski says society needs to decide how far it really wants to go with cloning humans.
That's a debate for everybody, not just scientists or politicians to take part in.
Now, Dr. Bienkowski says therapeutic cloning is something that doesn't have as many ethical implications. Therapeutic cloning is when there's an attempt to clone organs like livers or kidneys to replace diseased or damaged ones.
Okay, certainly a controversial topic.
Oh, certainly.
Thanks, Michelle. A team of independent experts will examine the baby. They'll test the girl's DNA to see if she really is a clone of her mother. Those results should be back sometime next week. Meanwhile, President Bush is calling on Congress to ban all human cloning. Right now, human cloning is allowed in the United States with FDA approval.
Now we just see that now President Bush was what? He was calling for the banning of cloning.
Think they've cloned humans?
I don't know. I'm not aware of any
cloning of humans that has actually taken place, but if you say, is it possible to clone humans?
Yeah, it's very possible, right?
Of course.
Because they've admitted to cloning sheep, right?
Well, you can get your dog cloned right now.
Exactly.
Like literally, it's a dog cloning service.
Folks, as we fight inflation, you can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. Bringing down gas prices is a big part of the job. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American. And here's the good news. Gas prices have dropped every day this summer. That's more than 40 days in a row. Donald Trump lacked the courage to act. We now have 40,000 gas stations in the United States where the price of gas is $3.99 or less. Brave women and men in blue all across this nation should never forget that. How do we get the price down? Well, a new report today shows that
Eminem. Since the early years of his career, infamous Slim Shady has been subject to many rumors. But the one of him being an android is among the most far-fetched of them all. The conspiracy first arose in 2013, following his interview with BBC News. In the interview, Eminem told the audience to, quote, stay out of his head, and stared at them for an uncomfortable amount of time before continuing with the interview. Strange? We think so too. For a while, the rumors had died down. That was until 2019, when artist Tim McDonald released a song entitled Cloned Rappers, where he claimed that Eminem died in 2006 after a drug overdose, and that Eminem's manager worked with the Illuminati to turn Eminem's cadaver bone sample into a clone of him to continue banking coin off his legacy. Take a second to let that sink in. We know it's a lot. Even crazier? A plethora of Eminem's fans believe this conspiracy to be true. The conspiracy theory fanatics believe that this explains Eminem's drastic change in appearance, transitioning from a blonde-haired boy to a brown-haired man, beginning to show signs of aging. The more reasonable explanation for Eminem's changes is his long history of drug abuse, alongside his stressful and traumatic past, which can drastically change an individual's appearance over time. Alongside his physical changes, the content of Eminem's lyrics has also greatly evolved. It has gone from speaking of violence to his more recent songs, which tend to be more reflective of his experiences and aspirations in life. But as Slim Shady says himself, he is the rap god. So perhaps that is his confession that he isn't human after all.
Stay out of my head.
And what a pleasure for Herbie and me to introduce Marshall Mathers. Some of you may know him as Eminem, but he's going to join the Saturday night crew with our music intro starting next Saturday night. But folks, I want to take you to the world premiere of one of his new videos called Berserk. Was that the great Rick Rubin who was helping produce that with you, Marshall, when you did that?
Yeah, sorry. Live TV. Live TV freaks me out a little bit. No. Yes, I'm sorry. What was the question?
That was Mr. Rubin, one of the all-time greats.
Yeah.
Producer.
What's that?
Yeah.
What's that? That could only be the musical stylings of Victor Oladipo, who is the reigning two-time champion of the all.
Pay attention to Shaq. Y'all pay attention to Shaq in this video and look at how he's, the whole time that they talking, look at his position.
Star Weekend player talent show.
You are talented. I give you a little credit on that. A lot of credit. You're very talented. I mean, you're not a karaoke guy like me, but you can actually. You know they call me Old Brown Eyes, right?
As a matter of fact, you both have experience.
Hey, look, but what's so crazy to me is the whole time that he's sitting here looking like this, nobody is paying attention to him. Nobody has noticed the fact that he's been staring off into space for about approximately 10 to 15 minutes. Y'all drop them nines if you understand where I'm coming from with this whole thing.
Experience singing New York, New York. His was at the Slam Dunk Contest. Yours was in Vegas.
Yes.
We had the show out there. Here's just a little sampling.
And you have to realize that there's more than one Obama.
Okay.
They're clones.
Ah, all right. Well, it would take a lot to do a lot of that.
No, and you think I'm kidding you. I'm serious.
Okay.
You when you see the clone can sing and dance. Yeah. The real Obama, he can't sing or he can't dance.
All of this that was bad, that everybody said, oh no, we can't invest in that. The government invested in, and now
This was a video that a live that Kodak Black did, in which he stood on the live just for like, I want to say 15 minutes, just in a stare. That same stare that we see a lot of these celebrities fall into.
A lot of people that found out about this cloning stuff find it very frightening. And yes, it is scary.
Stars out there, and that is what they were doing.
And you mentioned Kyrie with tonight's draft lottery. We now have
Now this is a newscaster who did the same thing.
the answer for how that. So how do we view that now in totality?
She lost him. I just found it back.
I'm afraid we lost Rachel. We've lost Rachel Nix. All right, come back. Come back.
I'm here. I'm here.
You can hear me?
I'm back to you, Scott. I'm back.
Can you hear me, Rachel?
I can.
Okay, Rachel.
It's
One
like,
last time.
It's like television.
Bro, watch my nigga Jalen Rose, though. Look at my nigga Jalen Rose. Tell me that's a fucking robot or some shit. That ain't no
Look at how he look, y'all.
fucking human being.
Hold on, let me see if I can get a better, like, let me go back and see if I can catch him better. But just look how he look. He don't even look like he real. Look.
Watch and that is what they were doing.
And you mentioned Kyrie with tonight's draft lottery. We now have the answer for how that. So how do we view that now in totality?
She lost him. I just found it back.
I'm afraid we lost Rachel. We've lost Rachel Nix. All right, come back. Come back.
I'm here. I'm here.
You can hear me?
I'm back to you, Scott. I'm back.
Can you hear me, Rachel?
I can.
Okay, Rachel.
It's
One
like,
last time.
It's like television.
Bro, watch my nigga Jalen Rose, though. Look at my nigga Jalen Rose.
Look at him. He just don't look like he real at all, y'all. Look at him. That's facts, man. This is crazy.
Tell me that's a fucking robot or some shit. That ain't no fucking human being. Look at this nigga. He didn't move, blink, or nothing. Bro, look at this shit.
And a lot of that fear comes from the fact that we've been programmed to believe that we're the only sentient beings on the planet.
A woman claims a man who looks like Mike Tyson lured her into a sexual assault. Police say the man, claiming to be the former boxer's manager, invited a woman to an after-hours club in Houston over the weekend, and that is where the victim says the look-alike sexually assaulted her. Now, the look-alike even has a tattoo similar to the one Tyson has on his own face. The real Mike Tyson heard about the investigation and shared a photo taken with fellow celebrity Jenny McCarthy. It places him in Florida when the incident in Houston took place.
They're clones, stupid ass. Damn, they look just like you.
It's the same exact person.
Even
down to the DNA. You know what DNA is?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
DNA is digital necessary asset. I always thought it was that.
Now, what I need to know is we're going to break up into two groups. Who wants to be down with the Kill Kevin clone group?
I have a clone. I was gonna say that. There's two of you. Cat's out the bag. Okay? It's about a good 3 of me. We broke it. They didn't want to release it yet. This is major news that I'm giving you. All right. I'm the first person to ever use it. I'm cloned. I'm cloned. I'm cloned.
This is an accident. This is the car, right? Now look at this car, y'all. This is the car that they want to tell you Kevin Hart survived the accident of. Take a close look at this car. Now I want y'all to comment and let me know, man. Do you think that it's possible for anyone to survive an accident after the car looked like this? Look at the front end. Look at the top. The top is smashed down. Okay? And if I'm not mistaken, I think he drove off a cliff or something. Okay, but just look at this car. Me personally, I don't think it's possible for someone to survive an accident and which their car turns out looking like this. Tyree say he think it's possible. I don't. I don't think it's possible, bro. You got to look at the top. The car is smashed. The head of someone's head could have been pushed in, and when you consider the amount of damage that could have possibly took place from his head being smashed in, then we know it's not going to be possible for you to survive this accident without so much as a scratch. You feel me?
In the wake of Kevin Hart's terrifying car crash back in September of 2019, TMZ reports that no one in the car that night has filed a lawsuit or been sued. On September 1st, Hart was a passenger in his 1970 Plymouth Barracuda when the driver of the car, Hart's friend and producer Jared Black, lost control and crashed through some wooden fencing. It was just before 1 a.m. in Malibu, California. The blue Barracuda crashed about 10 feet off the road and into a ditch, leaving both men with major back injuries and landing Hart in the operating room for spinal surgery. He recently...
Oh, okay, so I was mistaken. It crashed off of a ditch and he had spinal surgery.
Opened up about the aftermath of that crash in an interview with Men's Health, explaining that his recovery process has led him to do better and prioritize his family even more, which his wife, Aniko Parrish, is happy about. She tells Men's Health, quote, "There were times where he was here, but not really here. Not to say he wasn't a family man before, but he's expressed that the accident made him make up for some of the time missed because of work." Meanwhile, Hart went on to add, "I'm not trying to get back to where I was before. I want to do better than before. It's a resurrection. That's the best way for me to put it. I feel like the other version of myself died in that moment, and this new version was born to understand and to do better. I'm glad this is coming now. I'm getting older. I'm 40. You know, this is when I'm supposed to start realizing this bleep." That was his quote.
Injustice, and again, the food security issue. He's been spelling that out the whole time.
Look at this lady in the background. She just shut down for a minute.
I want you to know that we in the Congress fully support and take.
I'm Savannah Guthrie alongside Matt Lauer and Al Roker. Will someone do the junior high hug dance? It's like this. You gotta make it real awkward.
That's exactly how you have to have a certain amount of distance between the bodies in junior high.
Yes, like they say in Catholic school, leave room for the Holy Ghost. Anyway, there is a lot of memories today, actually. It's a big day in music history.
35 years ago today, Elvis Presley.
Look at Al Roker. Look.
He passed away, the king of rock and roll, and as Mark Cohn says in his great song, Walking in Memphis, there's a pretty little thing waiting for the king down in the jungle.
Then the devil took all the producers, the musicians, the designers, moved us all out to Hollywood, moved us all out to New York, chasing gold statues, literally signing a contract and selling our souls. But if the devil had you serving 8 restaurants at one time, it might drive you crazy. The devil controlled me, but he can't hold me, because God done told me, and life has shown me that God is the only, the real, not the phony. The phony would clone me, but just watch how they cloned me. Hey, look at me. Just watch how they cloned me. Hey, look at
Y'all heard Kanye West say the phony will clone me. Just watch how they clone me. They tell you the truth in these videos. Another thing I want y'all to understand is that we heard Orlando Brown speak on the fact that Kanye was cloned. He said that.
¿Dónde están las mujeres solteras en Los Ángeles? ¿Dónde están las solteras en LA?
We are going to become gods. Period. If you don't like it, get off. You don't have to contribute. You don't have to participate. But if you're going to interfere with me becoming God, you're going to have big trouble.
Hey,
will help.
Terrell Payton just said something real interesting, man. He said, is that why they started the mannequin challenge? Inquiring minds would like to know. That's facts.
Warfare.
Human clones, complete biological duplicates. Could they soon be living among us? According to some researchers, they already are. Multiple whistleblowers have testified that human cloning was developed by highly classified black-budget military projects.
Since '38, we've been making clone people.
Could some of your favorite entertainers have been secretly replaced with clones? What about politicians or world leaders? Welcome to a brave new world of human cloning, where complete duplicates of anyone living or dead can be created to order.
Have I met a clone? Yeah, I think I met some clones before.
See?
Really?
So there's clones amongst us.
Now, with stunning new scientific breakthroughs, and several celebrities, including Nicki Minaj and B.O.B., tweeting about human cloning, what was once relegated to the realm of science fiction now appears to be a reality. It's time to take a closer look at human cloning. In 1997, researchers in Scotland created worldwide controversy when they announced the successful cloning of the first mammal, Dolly the sheep.
Cloning. Cloned from an adult.
Deborah, yeah, Kanye West did pop up. He popped up. They just showed him in a recent news clip where some people was, I want to say stalking his house or something, whatever was happening. But I know he did pop up.
In a laboratory. The first adult mammal to be successfully cloned.
The news was that scientists in Scotland had successfully cloned a sheep in a laboratory.
If a lamb, why not a man?
The front page of Time magazine asked, will there ever be another you? January 24th, 2018. Scientists at the Chinese Academy of Sciences and Institute of Neuroscience in Shanghai announced the first successful cloning of a rhesus monkey, breaking a key barrier to the development of human clones. But is this achievement really the first of its kind? It is generally accepted that classified government research projects are typically 2 or 3 decades ahead of their open source equivalents, meaning the technological and scientific advancements made by the shadow government are roughly 30 years ahead of what is available to the general public.
Oh, now you know we're going about cloning. Cloning techniques, since 1938, they've been making clone people. There's 8 countries making clones. I have a doctor friend and all it does is treat the clones.
Where do you get your information?
I get it from some of the people that are willing to come forth, and they talk to me because they hope I'll put the information out, because they always got 2 people following them and they may be killed. If I start talking about cloning too much, the people that get involved into that disappear on it. So I don't go into too many more details, but there is information that's available. If you guys can rent a video, the boys from Brazil, rent it, because in it, it gives you the exact way how our government's been making people.
Really?
Yeah, different method.
I mean, making people meaning temporary people?
No, walking, talking ones.
Meaning through genetics? You're not talking about that?
Well, let me tell you. The movie shows it, but I'll share it with you right now.
All right.
All I need to do is take 2 cells off of your body, yours. You give them a small electrical charge. I'm just they'll act like a fertilized egg. If I got a fertilized egg, all I need is a receiver in order to make it. So they were hypnotizing women, said they were being invaded by aliens. And the fetus starts growing, right? Needs food. Well, they can use cows and sheep, too. Again, a food source. That's all we need. After about 14 weeks, all of a sudden that fetus is gone, because they've learned to take, that's when the fetus starts developing its own blood supply. Then they've used a pituitary hormone extract that they have, which accelerates the being that grows.
I knew that in 1996, the BBC reported secret human cloning had gone on 5 years before in places like South Korea, England, and other areas. But you were able to dig up a Time Life magazine article. What year is this from?
1965.
And in here, they've got photos of human clones, cow clones, embryonic, growing in artificial wombs. I thought the clones started in about 1990. This admits they were doing it in the 60s.
From the Bush-Clinton presidential election campaign in the 1990s.
Now, I want y'all to look at Bill Clinton.
That Bill Clinton was nothing more than a puppet to the puppet masters which placed him in the White House. Bill Clinton's demeanor seems to be similar to a person who is under a hypnotic trance.
There are many reasons why an entertainer might be a top choice to be cloned. Entertainers are themselves valuable commodities, earning mega millions for their record companies and studios. However, if they decide they want to quit, or something tragic happens to one of them, studios stand to lose considerable investment. Replacement clones are easier to control and manipulate, attracting less attention than an outright assassination, and allowing the owners to regain control and continue earning money. The Illuminati are said to have cloned many celebrities.
Raven's chin don't even look the same, y'all. Did y'all see her chin? Look.
Entertainers are themselves valuable commodities, earning mega millions for their record companies and studios. However, if they decide they want to quit, or something tragic happens to one of them, studios stand to lose considerable investment. Replacement clones are easier to control and manipulate, attracting less attention than an outright assassination, and allowing the owners to regain control and continue earning money. The Illuminati are said to have cloned many celebrities.
Look at Raven.
You ever met a clone? Have I met a clone? Yeah, I think I met some clones before.
See?
Really?
So there's clones amongst us.
The rapper Gucci Mane was sent to prison for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. But it was his return less than 3 years later that sparked controversy among fans. Not only had the rapper lost a considerable amount of weight, but his speech and mannerisms seemed to have changed as well.
You told me, you gotta get your man. Too gangster. Keep the scrap. Get what the nigga Blue said, man. That's why I fought him to today. Yeah, I just had to sit down about you. Yeah, we ain't gonna let you in. Yeah, be robbing too much. But we fuck with you.
What do you want for lunch for today?
Just fruit, veggies, and water.
That's
light.
it?
Very light. I wanted to go light but excessive.
Oh.
Clean but opulent.
Some even speculate that people from the past are being cloned and brought to life again as leading actors or musicians. Such theories point to the uncanny resemblance some stars show to figures from the past. The New York Times recently revealed that Barbra Streisand had cloned her beloved dog. The fact that pet cloning is now available for those willing to pay $50 grand raises the likelihood that in the near future it would be possible to actually pay for human clones. Could it be the New York
My question is, who in the world would want to clone their pet? For what reason?
Times story was done to gauge the general public's reaction to the prospect of cloning and the various ethical issues it raises?
No, I don't know what's wrong with me. No, but it's good. No, it's good. It's good. It's good. You're gonna be good. It's a good feeling.
Leave room for the Holy Ghost. There is a lot of memories today, actually. It's a big day in music history.
35 years ago today, Elvis Presley passed away, the king of rock and roll. And as Mark Cohn says in his great song, Walking in Memphis, there's a pretty little thing waiting for the king down in the jungle.
This is unreal. This is unreal. I'm supposed to start talking. I'm sorry, I'm sick. On behalf of this fearless and talented cast, we would like to thank, oh, it's so heavy. We'd like to thank Netflix, Sean, Matt, Ross, and the amazing casting director, Carmen Cuba. And I would just like to say that in light of all that's going on in the world today, it's difficult to celebrate the already celebrated Stranger Things. But this award from you, who take your craft seriously and earnestly believe, like me, that great acting can change the world, is a call to arms from our fellow craftsmen and women to go deeper and through our art to battle against fear, self-centeredness, and exclusivity of our predominantly narcissistic culture, and through our craft to cultivate a more empathetic and understanding society by revealing intimate truths that serve as a forceful reminder to folks.
It's been a heck of a ride, to be honest. I really can't complain.
Look at him. Look at him.
Yeah, I was kind of I was a little down when I found out I was injured and I had to have surgery again, or with another knee. But at the end of the day, I have amazing teammates. Guys like Draymond, everybody on this team.
For you today, the help you've always wanted. She is faster, stronger, more capable than ever before. Sally is part of your family, a teacher, a helper, a friend. New generation persona synthetics, closer to humans than ever before.
People have an extraordinary emotional reaction to cloning because it conjures up all sorts of images. Duplication, the images from science fiction of factory reproduction, and it really makes them face the notion that our technology is going to allow us to intervene even in the most intimate processes of our lives.
If you go to Disney World, for instance, down there in the Haunted Mansion, you see the hologram, right? Oh, you know how to make a hologram. Well, our scientists have learned how to make people. They call them synthetics. Are you familiar with those?
Well, actually, we just interviewed John Laird. He was talking about being in an audience in which they were given a lecture by a guy that they thought was real and found out later he was a hologram.
Well, it's a synthetic. A synthetics, when you touch their skin, it feels like plastic almost. That's the latest technique. The old techniques, if you guys can rent a video, the boys from Brazil, rent it, because in it, it gives you the exact way how our government's been making people.
Really?
Yeah,
well,
and the Soviets had a different method called...
I mean, making people meaning temporary people?
No, walking, talking ones.
Meaning through genetics? You're not talking about that?
Well, let me tell you, the movie shows it, but I'll share it with you right now.
All right.
All I need to do is take 2 cells off of your body, yours.
Uh-huh.
We give them a small electrical charge. I'm just don't act like a fertilized egg. If I got a fertilized egg, all I need is a receiver in order to make it. So they were hypnotizing women, said they were being invaded by aliens. And the fetus starts growing, right? Needs food. Well, they can use cows and sheep, too. It's, again, a food source. That's all we need. After about 14 weeks, all of a sudden, that fetus is gone. Because they've learned to take, that's when the fetus starts developing its own blood supply. Then they've used a pituitary hormone extract that they have, which accelerates the being that grows. And the original technology was given to our government by the Greys. Now, the reason was that our scientists were all excited because we could have spare parts. If you need a heart or a liver or anything, you won't have any rejection. It's your own DNA, right?
Okay, because theoretically, if we have overpopulation, we don't need more people, right?
But the so-called elite are selecting on who they want to have around anyway, so if we want to keep people going as long as we can. I talked to the doctor that was working on regeneration of Castro, for instance.
Right.
On the DNA sequencing.
Hey, Internet friends. Back in 1932, Aldous Huxley published a futuristic science fiction novel called Brave New World. in which citizens of a dystopian future endure government-engineered social ranks alongside major scientific advancements in reproductive technology. Alpha embryos are engineered to become the leaders of the world state, and each lower caste has their own place in society for which they are conditioned. But in order for everyone to efficiently fall into place for a fluid society, individuality and emotion must be conditioned out, meaning there are no lasting relationships, no monogamy, and no love because everyone belongs to everyone else. The novel opens by telling us about the Bokanovsky process, where the hatchery is able to produce thousands of nearly identical human embryos, engineered through artificial wombs. The gestation period of the embryo involves traveling in bottles along a conveyor belt in a factory, and thereafter, children are indoctrinated to belong to one of the 5 castes based on a number of criteria. Among other major takeaways from Brave New World, Huxley shared a very early description of human cloning and hijacking the human genome in order to mass-produce a complicit society. Since the introduction of Dolly the sheep in 1996, everyone knows that scientists have been able to clone animals for a while, so why not humans?
They said 1986 is how long it was when they first cloned the sheep.
Die aber mehr kann als ihr Programmierer, weil sie lernfähig ist. Die menschliche Denkfähigkeit, seine Intelligenz, hat ihm in der Evolution den entscheidenden Vorteil verschafft. Jetzt hat sich der Mensch Konkurrenz geschaffen mit der künstlichen Intelligenz.
The indigo star seed, man. I mean, the indigo, not star seed. The indigo child, man. I want to know, why do you have indigo in your title, in your profile title? Because it's obviously, you don't even know it, obvious that you don't even know what it means to be an indigo child. Okay? How is it hard for you to believe identifying yourself as an indigo starseed or a child? Because if you're saying that you're an indigo child, then you're saying that you're an indigo starseed, right? Then I want to ask you, how is it possible for you to believe something like this is even taking place? That leads me to believe that it might be possible that you might be a paid agent coming in to try to, you know what I'm saying? Because we all know what the indigo starseeds, me being the indigo starseed myself, we all know what the purpose of our existence on this realm is. Okay? If I was a mind indigo, would I get whatever? We know what that is. So for you to come in and be like, oh, ooh, to try to basically take away from everything that's being said in this lab, bro, it says something about you, bro. It says that it's possible that you could be an agent, bro, because, you know, exactly. So if you know exactly what it means to be an indigo star child, how is it impossible for you to believe that things like this is taking place? How is it possible for you to grasp the fact that if they're able to clone monkeys, if they're able to clone sheep, that they're unable to clone humans? How is this going over your head, Reflection? I don't see. I don't see how this can possibly go over your head with the technology that society has right now. Okay. So with that being said, I'm showing you clips. These aren't clips that I just dug up. These are clips that's coming actually from actual newscasters that talk about an actual company by the name of Clone Aid that is saying that they actually clone someone. Okay? These are actual people stepping forward and saying that they clone. Then you went further on. You started to say, and I just had to laugh in my head about this, right? So you getting information from a movie. Do you understand that a lot of the things that they give us in the movies is how they actually tell us what's going on without telling us because they have to give us the truth? You don't understand that? I'll just say she blocked him 30 minutes ago. I'm going to have to give me some moderators in here so I can get people like him out of here, right? Because you throw off the energy of the live. That's fact. The fact of the matter is this stuff is taking place. And I truly believe that it's a lot of people that walk amongst us on this today's, I'm talking about in everyday life, not just on the level of celebrity. Because the thing is, you have to understand, man, we fail to realize that the people that we consider to be celebrities are nothing more than regular people. Now, when I say regular people, I mean that behind when the cameras go off, okay? After the cameras go off, no matter how much money they have, if they're not a clone, then guess what? They're just still regular. Okay? They're only celebrities in certain people's eyes, but the fact of the matter is that if it's taking place around them, then you could bet your bottom dollar that it's taking place around us as well. Okay? But the reason that they would want to clone a celebrity more so than a regular individual is because, as they said in the video, celebrities are a major commodity when it comes to people who have invested in them. So when we talk about people like Kevin Hart, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, anybody that you would consider to be an A-list actor that they would have said that they could have possibly cloned, that's because they understand that by keeping them in front of you, they make more money because more people, they love them. It's a lot of people that'll get on here and fight for them. They'll fight for the fact that they out here doing things that's possibly causing the people that they love to transition. You see what I'm saying? They won't even, oh, well, that's a conspiracy. It's so many people that come on here and say that those are lies, bro, but yet and still, you know, it's hard for you to believe that they would do something to them to keep you in front of your eyes. Yeah, if they know that you will fight for them in that way, then they could tell that just by doing that, you will love them. You will go buy a ticket for them. You will ensure that the concert gets sold out. And when you do those type of things, you ensure that their money is coming to them more and more abundantly. Okay? We watched The Breakfast Club. I don't know who it was that they interviewed, but a guy on there, and I want to say he was one of the untouchables, man. We know who those are, right? When the whole situation was going down with Kanye West. He was saying that, yes, we know these type of things take place. Yes, we know the community we know the music. The message that the music is giving to the community. But the fact of the matter is I still have a family to feed. So what does that tell you when we talk about a group of individuals who's running these industries, right? And all they can care about is money. You don't think they'll pay a couple $100,000 to get them a clone? To have somebody clone? To make sure, you see what I'm saying? That they can continuously make that money to ensure that their family is going to be continuously paid? You don't think that? We have to start using the God-given mind, man. You feel me? My point exactly. Who controls the music? Look, let me tell you something, bro. Actors do not control the music industry, bro. You're silly. You're as silly as I truly think you are, right? If you really believe that actors control the music industry. Actors do not control the music industry. Okay? We talk about the untouchables. If you don't know who the untouchables is, man, then hey, it's going to go over your head. Thanks for the stars, more grace. You feel me? It's going to go over your head. I understand that this message ain't going to be for everybody, and that's what's up. You feel me? That's what's up. But my point of saying this is just to say that it's going to be people, bro, that control these music industries that vibrate at the frequency of money, okay? And when I say vibrate at the frequency of money, you have to understand, bro, in order for you to manifest something, you will have to vibrate at the frequency in which that you want to manifest. So for the people who vibrate at the frequency of money, majority of the time they're willing to do anything for it, even if that means possibly clone someone in order to continue for that money to come in, okay? You know, because in a situation like that, you know, it's all about, you know, making money. It's all about continuously ensuring that their families are fed and they don't care who gets the short end of the stick when they do it. You think they care about, through the music? They know that the music that look, let me tell you something. We watched Busy Bone expose how the music industry was connected to private prisons. How they sat down and had a meeting to make sure that the people that they were actually pulling into this music industry was delivering a message that would contribute to the private prisons. Okay? So what? So that they can make money. And so you have to understand, bro, on every level, bro, they are going to do what it takes. Even if that means let's take conscious rap or conscious music as a whole away from the music industry so that we can entice the minds of others to go out and commit more crimes that would feed the prison system. And when we talk about the situation of what's going on with cloning, you have to understand, bro, it's going to be people that's going to come along and say, hey, well, even if he did pass, let's go ahead and call up Clone Aid and see if we could get him 100,000 to duplicate him so that we can ensure that we get the money that we've invested in him, that we can continue to make that money. We have to think outside of the box, because thinking inside of the box ain't going to get you nowhere. Okay? Thinking inside of the box will get you nowhere in a situation like this. It's only going to keep you inside of the matrix. You're going to be thinking along the lines that they want you to think on. Oh, this is impossible. It's not going to happen. You see what I'm saying? Right. But this ain't a conspiracy either, though. This is the point that I'm making, the Indigo Child. This is not a conspiracy when we have people who are stepping on the forefront that are behind certain companies and saying that they actually have already had clones born. Okay? These are companies, right? I'm pretty sure they had to have sold someone on the back burner, someone that is very important, because if not, then guess what? They would have gotten sued. They would have been exposed. These videos happened in the 1990s. They would have been gotten exposed. We're talking about situations that took place over 20 years ago. Let's be smart here. Okay? And so with that being said, man, if you learn something from this content, I ask you to go ahead and share it, man, so that other people can see what's going on as well, man. But, you know, if you're not following me on YouTube, please get over to YouTube as well and follow me on YouTube at I Am Awakened, man. Also, please don't forget to follow me on Instagram at I Am Awakened _chosen one, man. And as always, man, I just want to leave you as I came, man. No, I want you guys to always be aware, because to be aware is to be alive. And as always, peace, family. Peace meaning positive energy always creates elevation. Ashe.